The sky was dark, filled with smoke and dust. Broken buildings stood like skeletons. The wind carried the smell of old fire and metal. Earth was no longer the home it once was. He walked alone, a man strong, tired, dirty. His name was Ray, one of the last humans alive. He wore a torn jacket and carried a metal rod. His eyes were sharp, always watching. Ray moved through the garbage fields, searching. He looked for anything useful: metal parts, clean water, old batteries. He was a scavenger now. Everyone was. Suddenly he stopped. There was a sound, not wind, not metal, something else. It was soft, broken, almost like a voice. Who? Man. Ray turned fast. He raised his rod, ready to fight. Silence again. Then the voice came back. Please, human, help. Ray followed the sound slowly. His boots crushed old cans and glass. The voice led him to a large pile of garbage, high like a small hill. Broken machines, plastic, wires and bones. And beside it, he saw her. An alien. She was lying on the ground, half covered in dirt. Her skin was light blue, glowing weakly. One arm was twisted. She was breathing fast. Ray stepped back. Aliens were dangerous. They had taken over Earth. They had destroyed cities. They killed humans without mercy. But this one. She looked broken, hurt, dying. He kept his distance. What do you want? He asked. The alien opened her eyes slowly. My daughter. She's under the garbage. She is small. She will die. Ray frowned. Why should I trust you? The alien coughed. Because I have no reason to lie. I can't save her. Only you can, please. Ray looked at the pile. It was huge, heavy, dangerous. And then he heard it. A soft cry. High-pitched, weak, like a child or something pretending to be one. Ray looked at the alien again. She was crying now. Her tears were silver. I beg you, she said. Don't let her die like this. Something inside Ray moved. He didn't know why. He hated aliens. They had ruined everything, but this one. She was a mother. He dropped his bag and walked to the garbage pile. If this is a trap, he said, I'll make sure you don't get up again. The alien closed her eyes. It's not. Ray started digging. He moved metal pieces, plastic sheets, heavy wires. He worked fast but careful. The garbage was sharp. It cut his hands. Still, he kept going. Minutes passed. Then he saw it. Something round, shiny, metal, but alive. A small cocoon-like pod. It blinked with soft pink lights. Inside, a small figure moved. Ray reached out. But then he heard a sound behind him. He turned fast. Something was crawling out of the garbage. Long arms. Glowing red eyes. Not human. Not alien. Something worse. A garbage beast built from broken parts and dark tech. It moved like a spider, fast and hungry. Ray grabbed his rod. You've got to be kidding me. The beast jumped. Ray rolled aside and hit it with full force. Sparks flew. The beast screeched. It attacked again, but Ray was ready. He fought hard. Hit the red eyes. The rod broke one eye, then the other. The beast fell back, sparks flying. Ray turned to the cocoon. He picked it up gently. The small figure inside touched the glass from inside. A tiny hand, 3 fingers. Glowing faintly, Ray stared. The child was not human, but she looked peaceful. She opened her eyes for a second. They were bright green. She whispered, "Save me." Ray took a deep breath. He held her close and ran. The alien mother watched him go. She smiled. Even as her body faded, Ray didn't look back. He didn't know what he was doing, but he knew one thing. He was not going to let the child die. Smoke filled the air. Ray ran through the garbage field, holding the cocoon tight in his arms. His breath was heavy. His hands were bleeding. The child inside the pod was still glowing faintly. Soft pink light pulsing with each heartbeat. Behind him, Something screamed. Not human. Not animal. It was the garbage beast. Still alive. Ray turned into a broken tunnel. Once part of an old subway station, the metal walls were cracked. Pipes hissed with steam. He jumped over broken tracks and hid behind a pile of steel beams. Silence. Then footsteps. No, not footsteps. Crawling. Clicking. Metal on metal. He pressed the cocoon close. "Don't make a sound," he whispered. He had no idea if the child could understand. Then, a voice from inside the pod. "Ray." He froze. His name? How? The pod shimmered, and a hologram flickered above it. A tiny blue light showing a blurry memory. A room full of stars, scientists, both alien and human. A baby floating in a tube. Then, fire, screaming, a woman shouting, "Take her! Run!" Ray blinked. What the hell is this? The child inside the pod whispered again, "You came." Like she said. Ray looked down. "Who are you?" But before she could answer, the sound came again. Clang. Clang. Something was in the tunnel. He stood and pulled out a small knife. His metal rod was gone, broken in the last fight. He held his breath. A shadow moved, long arms, sharp fingers, glowing red eyes. But this was not the same beast from before. This one was bigger, stronger. It spoke. "You have her." Ray stepped back. "Yeah? And I'm not giving her up." "You cannot protect her," the creature said. "She is not yours. She is not anything. She's alive. That's enough." The beast tilted its head. "She is a threat to everything." Ray raised the knife. "Then everything better get ready." The creature lunged. Ray ducked, slashed at the leg. Sparks, the creature screamed. Ray ran again, deeper into the tunnel. The pod began to glow brighter. A sudden blast of light came from it, like a wave of heat. The walls shook. The creature cried out in pain and ran back into the darkness. Ray fell to his knees, coughing. What was that? The pod calmed down. A soft voice spoke again. "I didn't mean to hurt you." Ray looked inside. The child was fully awake now. Eyes glowing green, skin soft and smooth like light in glass. Not fully alien, not fully human. Something in between. "Who are you?" he asked again. She replied, "They call me Hope." Ray almost laughed. "That's a big name for someone your size." She smiled weakly. "I didn't choose it." Ray sat against the cold wall. "What are they, the things chasing you?" She looked down. "Hunters, sent to erase me." "Why? Because I can end the war." Ray frowned. "What war? There's nothing left." She looked into his eyes. "There's always something left. You're still here." He didn't answer. For the first time in years, he didn't feel completely alone. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the tunnel, robotic, loud, emotionless. "Attention. Human signature located. Target acquired. Prepare for termination." Ray grabbed the pod. "Time to move again." As he ran, Hope whispered, "They found us. But I can show you a way out." "How?" "Follow my light." The pod began to glow brighter. A line of tiny blue dots floated from it, leading down a different path in the tunnel. Ray didn't question it. He ran. Dark clouds hung over the ruined city, but underground, something brighter was moving, a soft trail of blue lights, glowing like fireflies. Ray followed them, holding the cocoon tightly in his arms. The child inside, Hope, had fallen asleep. Her face was calm, but her power pulsed through the air. Every few steps, Ray looked back. No sign of the hunter. Not yet. He walked into a new area, a forgotten subway station. The walls were covered in glowing green fungus. Water dripped from broken pipes above. Old train cars stood like metal graves, covered in dust and rust. Suddenly, the cocoon beeped. Ray stopped. "What is it now?" he whispered. Hope's voice came through, soft but clear. "He's here." Ray's heart jumped. "Who?" Then he heard it. A whistle. Not a machine, not alien, a human whistle. Ray ducked behind a metal bench, clutching the pod. Footsteps echoed, heavy boots. Someone tall, moving slow. Confident. A man stepped into the station. He wore black armor with a red visor. A strange symbol glowed on his chest, part human, part alien. Ray whispered, "Another hunter?" Hope replied, "No, worse. He was once like you." The man raised his hand and spoke. "Ray." Ray froze. "How do you know my name?" "I knew your brother," the man said. "Before he burned with the last city." Ray narrowed his eyes. "My brother died in the attack. You were there?" The man nodded. "I was. I survived." "Changed sides." "We lost the war, Ray. You just haven't accepted it yet." Ray stood up slowly. "You're a traitor." "No," the man replied. "I'm a survivor." "Give me the child." "You don't know what she is." "I know enough. She's just a kid." "She's a weapon." Hope's voice whispered again. "Run." Ray didn't wait. He turned and ran across the station, leaping onto the train tracks. Sparks flew as lasers, hit the wall behind him. The armored man was fast, too fast for a human. Ray ducked into a side tunnel. Alarms went off. The cocoon started blinking wildly. Ray panted. "Hope, I need help here." She answered, "Go left. There's a vent. Crawl through." Ray jumped into a narrow opening. It was dark, filled with wires and dust. He pulled himself through as fast as he could. Behind him, metal footsteps echoed closer. Halfway through the vent, he got stuck. "No. No, no, no." Hope's light dimmed. "Ray, calm down." The armored man's voice echoed behind him. "She's not yours to protect." Ray growled, pushed with all his strength, and broke through the other side. He landed hard on a steel floor and rolled, but something was wrong. The cocoon slipped from his hands. It rolled down a slope, fast, into an open pit. "Hope." Ray crawled to the edge. Below, the pod had landed in a broken chamber. Machines powered on old alien tech. The walls lit up, scanning her. "Warning," a voice said. "Subject, Hybrid Class Omega, lockdown activated." Ray's eyes widened. Hope had triggered an ancient system. Doors slammed shut between him and her. The man in armor reached him. "It's over." Ray stood up. "Not yet." He hit a button on the wall, not knowing what it did. A blast of air pushed the enemy back. Loud siren filled the tunnels. Ray took a deep breath. He wasn't giving up. Not now. Not ever. Darkness. But not empty. It was warm. Soft. Floating. Ray opened his eyes. But he wasn't really awake. He wasn't in the tunnels anymore. He was somewhere else. A place made of light and memory. He stood in a large white room. The walls moved like water. Stars blinked above. In the center stood a little girl, glowing, peaceful. Hope. She looked at him with calm eyes. "Where are we?" Ray asked. "In my mind," she said. "I brought you here. You needed to see." Ray looked around. His body felt light. There was no pain, no noise. Just a soft hum, like the sound of the universe breathing. "I'm dreaming," he whispered. "No," Hope said. "You're remembering. With me." She reached out her hand. And suddenly, everything changed. The room exploded into light. Now Ray stood on a balcony of a tall tower, but the city below was not broken. It was alive. Clean, tall buildings stretched into the clouds. Flying. Ships moved between them. Humans and aliens walked side by side. Peace. Double quotes. This was Earth, Hope said. Before the war. Ray watched in shock. Children laughed. Markets buzzed. The world was bright. Then, the sky turned red. Sirens. Explosions. Ships falling from above. Aliens with sharp armor landed from the sky, firing weapons. People screamed. "Why? Why are you showing me this?" Ray said, "Because this was the first lie," Hope replied. "They told you aliens started the war." But they didn't. Not all of them. A new memory appeared. A secret lab. Humans in white suits. Alien scientists with long arms and glowing eyes. Together, they stood around a glass tube. Inside it, a small baby floated. Ray gasped. "That's you." Hope nodded. "I was created. Half human, half alien. Meant to connect both sides. To stop the fighting before it started. But something went wrong." Hope's voice was soft now. "A group of humans didn't want peace. They feared I would change the future. They called me a threat." Ray stared at the lab as alarms began to ring. Soldiers entered, guns raised. They shot the scientists. Burned the lab. Only one escaped. An alien woman. Hope's mother. "She carried me," Hope said. "She ran through fire and blood. She hid me under garbage. She died so I could live." Ray looked down. His fists were shaking. "All this time, we were lied to." Hope touched his arm. "You're not alone, Ray. You never were." Suddenly, the memory world cracked. A red alarm echoed through the sky. Hope's eyes widened. "They found us, even here." Ray felt pain shoot through his head. The mental world shook like an earthquake. Fire fell from the sky. The lab, the tower, all vanished. He was being pulled out. "Ray!" Hope shouted. "Wake up!" "You must. Wake up now." Ray gasped. He opened his eyes back in the real world, sweating, breathing hard. He was inside a dark chamber, separated from Hope by thick glass. Her pod was lit up, locked in a force field. Drones buzzed in the air around her, scanning. Ray looked around. No weapons, no tools, just broken machines. But now he knew. He had seen the truth. She was the key. The key to ending everything. Or restarting it. Ray stood up. "I'm getting you out of here," he said. Hope looked at him through the glass. And for the first time, she smiled. Ray stood alone. The chamber was silent now. The buzzing drones had stopped. The lights above flickered. Hope remained locked inside the glowing force field, her eyes calm but tired. Ray touched the glass. "I'll find a way," he whispered. But he had no tools. No weapons. And no time. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the chamber. "Need a hand, brother?" Ray turned sharply. From the shadows stepped a man in old military gear. His face was scarred. One eye was cybernetic. He held a plasma rifle. Ray's mouth opened in shock. James? It was his old war partner, his best friend. Someone Ray had believed dead for years. James smiled. "Still stubborn, huh?" Ray stepped forward, confused. "How are you alive?" "Got picked up by a scavenger crew," James said. "Been surviving in the shadows. Heard your signal. Figured you needed help." Ray's eyes narrowed. "How'd you know it was me?" James shrugged. "Only one guy still crazy enough to drag around a glowing alien child." Ray laughed, just a little. It felt good to see a familiar face. "We have to get her out," Ray said. "She's not just a kid. She's James raised. A hand. I know. I've heard the stories." He walked to the console near the chamber and pulled out a small chip. "Good thing I kept this. Old override key from back in the army days." Ray watched carefully. James slid the chip into the panel. The force field flickered. The chamber. Doors unlocked with a hiss. Hope floated forward slowly. Blinking. Ray stepped in and held her close. "She's safe now," he whispered. But behind him, James didn't move. He didn't smile. Instead he said, "Yeah." "Safe enough to sell." Ray turned. "What did you just say?" James lowered his rifle, but not in peace. He aimed it at Ray. "You think you're the only one who lost something?" James said, voice cold. "We lost everything. Our homes, our families, our future. And now you want to protect the thing that caused it all." "She didn't cause it," Ray said. "She was made to stop it." James shook his head. "You don't get it. She's not hope. She's power. Everyone wants her. The aliens. The Machines, even what's left of the human colonies. Ray's heart dropped. You sent the signal, didn't you? I traced yours, James said, and I answered it. So they'd come, so they'd pay me to hand her over. Behind Ray, Hope was shaking. I trusted you, Ray said. James sighed. You shouldn't have. Suddenly, the walls of the chamber began to shake. Red lights flashed. Incoming ship detected. Hope looked up. They're here. Ray stepped in front of her. You're not getting her. James raised the rifle. I don't want to kill you, Ray. Ray didn't flinch. Then don't. For a moment, time stopped. Then Hope's body flashed with light. Blue energy exploded from her like a wave. The floor cracked. The machines went dark. James was thrown across the room. Unconscious, Ray fell to one knee, but held on to Hope. The light faded. Hope was breathing fast, but alive. Ray stood slowly. I should have known, he whispered. Trust no one. He looked down at Hope. But I trust you. She looked up at him. And for the first time she said, so do I. Silence. Ray sat alone in an old control room. The broken window showed a black sky filled with fire and smoke. In the distance, an alien ship hovered, shaped like a knife in the sky, cold, watching. He didn't speak. He just stared at the photo in his hand. A burned picture of his brother, smiling, before everything fell apart. Behind him, Hope sat. On the floor, her legs crossed, her eyes closed. She was glowing softly, but her energy was weak. She had used too much during the last escape. Ray looked at her. You okay? Hope nodded slowly. They're close. Ray stood up. He strapped a makeshift armor plate to his chest. Old tech, half working. He picked up a broken rifle and a backpack full of scraps. This isn't a rescue mission anymore, he said. This is a final stand. Hope opened her eyes. You'll fight them alone? Ray looked at her with a half smile. I'm not alone. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small silver disc, a memory core from an old battle drone. One of the few that had followed him during the early war. He inserted it into the console. The screen flickered. System rebooting. Unit, Guardian active. A robotic voice crackled. Welcome back, Ray. Ray smirked. Missed you too, metalhead. Down in the main power hall, Ray and the reactivated drone began setting traps. Old mines, hacked turrets, and a stolen alien cannon they barely understood. Hope sat near the center, her pod glowing brighter. She was recovering fast now. Her energy returned like fire catching wind. Ray looked at her. They're not coming for war. They're coming for her. The drone scanned the area. 3 ships inbound, 1 command class. Estimated ground strike. In 4 minutes, Ray checked his rifle. Plenty of time to piss them off. Outside, the alien dropships landed with a hiss. From them came dozens of biomechanical soldiers, tall, sharp, covered in glowing red lines. Not fully alien, not fully machine. Engineered to kill. At the front, the commander stepped out. He was not like the others. He had no face. Only a smooth black helmet with a red line across where eyes should be. He raised his hand. Bring me the girl. Inside, alarms rang. Ray looked at Hope. You stay behind the shield, no matter what. I can help, she said softly. You already have, Ray replied. Now let me do my part. The battle began. The first wave of enemies stormed the hallway. Ray activated the traps. Explosions rocked the building. Smoke filled the air. He fired from cover, moving fast, hitting hard. The drone flew overhead, shooting lasers, covering Ray's blind spots. It was chaos, but controlled chaos. Ray moved like someone with nothing left to lose. Then, the commander entered. He walked through fire without flinching. Ray fired. Nothing. The bullets melted on contact. The commander raised one hand. Ray was thrown across the room. Hope screamed. She ran forward, but the force shield still held her back. The commander walked toward her. Slow, certain. Ray coughed, blood on his lip. No. He pulled a hidden wire. The last turret popped out, aimed straight at the ceiling. Boom. The roof above the commander collapsed. Steel beams, rubble, broken machines crashed down. For a moment, silence. Then the rubble moved. The commander pushed. Through damaged but alive. Ray dragged himself up. His armor was broken. His leg was injured. He looked at Hope. She was crying now. Not with fear, with something else. Rage. She raised her hands. Her body lit up like a star. The entire room glowed. The machine stopped. The air vibrated. The commander froze. Hope stepped forward. You don't control me, she said. The red lights in the enemy's body flickered, then went out. All of them. One by one, the soldiers dropped. Ray's mouth opened in shock. She had shut them down. The commander took one last step, raising his hand. Ray threw his last weapon, a fusion grenade. The blast lit up the chamber. When the smoke cleared, the commander was gone, just black ash. Ray dropped to one knee. It was over. Hope ran to him and hugged him tightly. You came back, she whispered. Ray smiled, holding her close. I always will. Rain. Soft, clean rain. For the first time in many years, it wasn't poison. It wasn't black or thick like oil. It was clear, and it fell gently over the broken earth. Ray stood outside the ruins of the old station. His armor was gone. His hands were still scratched and burned, but he was breathing. Alive. Hope stood beside him, barefoot, quiet, glowing faintly. She raised her face to the sky and let the rain touch her skin. It doesn't hurt, she whispered. Ray smiled. No, it doesn't. They had walked for 2 days after the battle. Through the ash fields, across the silent city bones. More ships, no more machines. No more war. Just quiet. And wind, and something else. Peace. They reached a hill high above the land. Old ruins around them. Broken signs. A bent flagpole. One small metal box buried in the ground. Hope stopped. This is the place, she said. Ray looked around. There's nothing here. There will be, she replied. She knelt and opened the box. Inside, a single seed, wrapped in a white cloth. Ray didn't know where she got it. Maybe it was always meant to be there. Hope placed it in the soil with care. Ray frowned. The ground is dead. Hope looked at him. Not anymore. She pressed both hands into the earth. A soft pulse of blue light moved through the dirt, like warm water. The ground shook gently. Then it stopped. Ray stared. Nothing happened at first. But then a green stem rose from the soil. Then leaves. Then a trunk. Then branches. In seconds, a small tree stood tall in front of them, fresh, young, glowing with tiny drops of life. Ray's mouth opened. That's not possible. Hope smiled, her voice soft. This world just needed a second chance. The sky broke open. More rain fell. But this time, flowers grew where it touched. Tiny buds. Vines, grass. Ray sat down. Tired. Hope sat beside him. He looked at her. So, what now? She didn't answer for a while. Then, we find others. We help them. We plant more trees. We bring back what was lost. Ray nodded slowly. Hope leaned her head against his shoulder. Do you think they'll come back? She asked. The aliens? No, the people. Ray looked out across the land. And for the first time in years, he said, yes. Final scene. Somewhere far away, deep under the surface of the earth. Old machines flicker. A radio blinks. Static. Then a voice. To anyone still listening. There's a tree growing on the surface. It's green. It's real. And it means we're not alone anymore. Cut to black.